What is up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day today. Chris back again. And I recently decided that I was going to, after I did the Invasion of the Body Snatchers review series that I hope you guys enjoyed, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do Rambo. So this is going to be the first video in a Rambo review series. I rewatched the whole franchise here recently, and so here we go. We're going to be talking about Rambo and its respective sequels and all that good stuff. So let's get down to it with First Blood Part 1. I didn't even check what year this was made. I think it was like either late 70s, early 80s, like 82 maybe. I'd have to verify that. You know what? I think I'm going to do that before we continue any farther. Okay, yeah, so it was 1982 when this bad boy was made. And, this stars Sylvester Stallone. How many of us grew up watching Rambo? Hell, he even had a spin-off animated kids show. Rambo was a pop culture phenomenon back in the 80s, early 90s, right? So I dove into this, and I think Stallone plays a really good, the whole PTSD, Vietnam flashback, veteran soldier who's come back from being in the stuff, and then, he comes to this small town where we have the corrupt police chief, which seems to be an ongoing theme here in America these days with, the way police are treated and things like that, and the way that police treat other people, they're not depicted as the good guys, you know what I mean? And they're not depicted as the good guys in this either. They get Rambo, they think he's a freeloader, a drifter, they take him down into the jail cells, and he's having flashbacks of being tortured in Nam, and he goes, buck wild, beats a couple of dudes up, and takes off into the woods. And then there's this big manhunt, and then we get Richard Crenna's character who comes in, and man, what can I say about Colonel Troutman? This dude is, okay, so he comes in, and I've noticed something in the, let me take a drink real quick. I noticed something in his character, right? So he's the guy, he enlisted Rambo. He pulled Rambo into the service. He made him a Green Beret. He trained him. He made him a killing machine. But this old dude gets Rambo into more BS and does nothing for him. Okay, he's supposed to be a badass. He's supposed to be better than Rambo. He trained Rambo. He's supposed to be, more elite, in my opinion, the master and the student. He's supposed to be better than Rambo. But this dude, throughout the trilogy that he's in, the first 3 movies, this dude either is hyping up, like talking shit to the enemy about Rambo. He's like, listen, what you call hell, he calls home. You got 20 guys out there. He's fixing to mow through them with just a meat cleaver, like he's talking so much trash to the enemies. He's hyping Rambo up, or he's getting Rambo into some stuff, right? Like he's like, John, we need you to come back. We've got some guys over there that need to come home. Come on. Knowing good and damn well the CIA is going to screw them over, or they're going to get captured by somebody, like they know. Troutman knows. Richard Crenna's character knows this stuff, but because he's been in the stuff before. He's been in it before. He knows how this operates. But yet he's like, John, come on, man. We got some boys over there that need your elite skills to bring them home. Bring them home, John. But he is always either getting Rambo into some stuff or he's hyping Rambo up to the bad guys, to the people who are trying to get Rambo. But he never does anything that is elite combat soldier. He gets captured and he gets tortured and you're like, come on, Troutman, you gonna do anything at all? You're supposed to be a badass too. He's just old and gets beat up and Rambo has to come save his geriatric ass. So we got him talking. Troutman comes in and he's like, listen, Sheriff, don't go after him. Let him go. You'll pick him up sometime in another county and this will all be diffused. But the sheriff, in all his pride, he's like, no, I'm getting that SOB and he ain't getting away and this and that. And he's just full of pride, full of hubris, right? I mean, and so we have the final showdown between the police chief and Rambo. And he hurts the police chief and he's like, I could have killed you. I could have killed all of y'all. But I didn't. You remember that. Remember this moment kind of thing. And then, you know, he goes on a rampage in the town. Troutman has to come in and he's like, John, you got to cool it, man. You know, and he's like, the war ain't over, man. The war's not over. And he's like, well, for us it is because we're back home. And you know, it ends with him leaving, going to prison or whatever. But I always thought this movie was just, as a kid, I always thought this movie was so cool. And, you know, just like this just badass guy just kicking police butt in the woods. But really it's the story of a traumatized dude who went through a lot of stuff, whose government kind of failed him, just didn't do anything for him. You know what I mean? Like he came back, he was a POW, he was tortured, he was abused, he saw things, but they just turned him loose and he's walking the streets and he ain't got no support. I mean, he goes to look for it the whole beginning of the movie. He's looking for his, one of his friends, you know, and the lady said, hey, you know, your buddy's dead. He died of cancer like a year ago. And so he feels like he has nobody and he's really a tortured soul. He needs something. He needs some kind of relief, some kind of empathy, sympathy, something, but he just doesn't get it. And then he goes into this small town and where people should have been kind to him and been like, man, thank you for your service. Thank you for, you know, saving our boys over there or teaching our boys something or whatever. You know, he's abused, mistreated, talked down to, and he just has enough. And that's kind of the moral of the story is like, don't push people. Don't just be cruel and mean to people just to be that way, you know? Don't do that. Love everybody. Love, man. Love is the answer. Bob Marley was right. So it was, you know, the first Rambo movie set the tone for the rest of the franchise, right? It really did. It set the tone. And we're going to see later in Rambo 2, right? We're going to see a drastic, maybe not shift in tone, but we're going to see a drastic departure from the battle-scarred, mentally wounded soldier in the first film. And we'll talk about that in the next review. But right now, Rambo, Rambo First Blood Part 1 will get 5 stars because it introduced us to one of cinema's most, I would say, enduring action heroes. I mean, everybody knows who Rambo is. Even kids nowadays, you know, the youngsters from the 2000s and the 2010s know who Rambo is, you know. So, you know, it set the tone for what's to follow. It set the tone for the character. And we'll discuss more coming up in Rambo First Blood Part 2. But thank you guys for watching. If you would like, you know, like more stuff, please like and subscribe. And I'm going to keep watching them as long as y'all keep making them. Nope, that's the other way around. I always do that. I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them, guys. Peace out. God bless you. See you soon.